The following podcast is scheduled for no point and is no hold barred. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to podcast.
Well, there you go. That's that. Cake and bake thick shake here, everyone. Bringing to you circles and blunt pencils for another week. Oh, what are you thinking? What are you thinking there? Cake and bake thick shake. Who's that? It's the new gimmick, mate. It's the new gimmick. You got to keep changing it up. Cake champion. It's a thing of the past. It's all about the cake and bake thick shake. Usual routine here. Circles and blunt pencils. Wrestling podcast that has no point. Literally. Seriously. If you go back and listen, that's all it is. It's just fucking, there's no point to this. Just, on the fly, whatever. Bringing to you wrestling from this guy's point of view. And you're going to sit there and listen to it. Or stand there and listen to it. However you want to listen to it. Maybe you're driving and you're listening to it. Who knows? Usual routine as always. We're talking about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact. Also some New Japan. New Japan developing here. That's right. And also Takeover. About Takeover, maybe day after, caught up with the boys to discuss it. It was terrible, just was absolutely fucked. Audio was just shit, among other things. Honestly, not even I could save that clusterfuck, and I tried. I mean, you would have thought it was 4 o'clock in the morning and I woke them up to do the... What the fuck does that beeping sound keep coming from? Honestly, need to sort that out. Talk to the editor that I don't have. So yeah, anyway, with Takeover, much like the Molina situation, 3 of us were supposed to do it, but then didn't. So I'll just talk about it myself. Basically, because I'm a hero. And yeah, then just carry on with shit. Anyway, so... as always, but before I get stuck into anything, it's time to see what I could find that happened on this day in history. And for the second week in a row, could not find anything. I don't have the time or can be bothered going through Raws and SmackDowns just to see like one little thing. So if you want it for that shit, go Pipe Bomb News on Instagram, because he clearly has nothing better to do with his time. And won't be getting cut off as well this week. So that's day in history. Yeah, so that's basically everything that we're going to do today. Turns out it's not that difficult. Alrighty. So, and later on as well, I might have something special-ish, top 10s and stuff like that. Yeah, sounds good. Alrighty. Now, let's see about Raw. I'll start with Raw first. I was debating whether to do Raw or Takeover first, but I will do Raw as I get the results up here. Let's see what I could find. And I couldn't find anything, but what happened was not much really. Again, Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns doing their little shit back and forth. Opening match, Roman Reigns and the Usos. They should actually be a faction. The family. We'll call them the family. They lost to Drew McIntyre and The Revival. So, there you go. Miz TV was back with Seth Rollins. And I believe Brock Lesnar interrupted this. Don't think this was when he teased the cash in, or it might have been, not too sure. Anyway, what happened there was Lesnar just came out and started beating the fuck out of him, and perfect opportunity to cash it in, and didn't. Heyman was there like, do I cash it in now? And Lesnar's telling him to stop, slow your roll, mate, slow your roll, just hold the briefcase like I pay you to do, shit like that. Yeah. Just absolutely decimated Rollins. Sucks shit. And yeah, didn't cash it in. He basically said Friday. We'll cash it in on Friday. Obviously, Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. So this just leads me to believe that he's going to cash it in on Kofi Kingston or Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, that's what I see happening. I don't think he's going to cash it in on Rollins. Just more boring shit there. Rey Mysterio relinquished the United States Championship to Samoa Joe. Because Rey Mysterio suffered a separated shoulder after the beatdown that Joe gave him at Money in the Bank. So Mysterio gave him the belt. So Joe's now a 2-time United States champion. Should have never lost it, but anyway. And then afterwards he choked out Mysterio. And that was it. Great segment here. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley having an arm wrestle match. That's an instant fast forward there. Bray Wyatt and his Sesame Street again. I'm beginning to believe that I'm the only one that doesn't really give a fuck about Bray Wyatt playing Play School and Sesame Street and all these other fucking bananas in pajamas ABC TV show bullshit. Just fucking get in the ring. Do something. I'm sick of seeing it. It's really annoying from my perspective anyway. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that feels this way. Triple H called out Randy Orton. Because, yeah, why not? Triple H is the boss and can just do whatever he wants. And, yeah, so he called out Orton. Orton came out and, yeah. Orton said Triple H has no balls and needs to get him back from Stephanie, which is true. Orton started cracking up and laughing, so he just couldn't keep a straight face. And then Triple H came back with the comeback of all comebacks, saying, Randy, you have no balls, which was really lame. You'd expect something better from, someone who's supposed to take over WWE and shit like that. So, yeah, good shit there. Yeah, what will happen there? Who knows? But, yeah, it's riveting stuff. Once again, Triple H just putting himself in the spotlight. As he always does, and he'll take the suit off for one day and feel like a man because he can step into the ring and all this other shit. Ricochet and Cesaro went the third time, 3 weeks. Ricochet won. Big whoop. Should have been Cesaro. But once again, another show-stealing match. The only highlight from Raw. Yeah. No, it was a good match. Like, these guys could go forever, really. They could have best of 7, best of 17, best of 55. Like, you wouldn't be disappointed. They always do different shit, much like when Andrade and Mysterio were going at it on SmackDown. R-Truth had to defend his 24/7 championship in a lumberjack match against Elias, which Elias won. Just leave that one there. But after the match, all the lumberjacks came in and decided to beat up Elias, so he snuck out of the ring without anyone realising, was crawling away, and then sort of bumped into Truth and tried to escape going through the ring, and as you would expect, R-Truth pinned him underneath the ring and is now a 4-time 24/7 champion. They just need to fuck that shit off or change it up or do something better with it, because it's pretty bad now. It's just the same old shit. And R-Truth lost it to Jinder Mahal on Sunday or Monday. Might have been Monday. Well, he was playing golf. He was having a relaxation day, playing golf, and then Jinder Mahal just comes out of nowhere in his wrestling gear on a golf course, rolls him up, pins him, 1, 2, 3, 24/7 champion, and then 11 seconds later, Truth wins back the belt. So, yeah, it's once again riveting stuff. And then Undertaker called out Goldberg. Said he didn't want the family man. He wanted the dude that refused to lose in WCW because he thought he was all that. And yeah, can't wait for that match as well. Super Showdown. It's going to be exciting. So yeah, that was Raw. Very shit. But what are you going to do? SmackDown. Ziggler and Kofi Kingston going back and forth. Xavier Woods just stood there, taking it all in, not really doing anything. And then, yeah, Ziggler went out the back and out came Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for their tag team match against Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Obviously, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods won that. Kofi Kingston they can take the belt off him now, really. Yep. You've had your moment. That's it. Moment of bliss with Bayley. Yeah, good shit there. Something about a number one contenders triple threat match being set up as well. Alexa Bliss wanted a shot, and then Carmella came out saying you can't mention Money in the Bank and, you know, cashing in and SmackDown Women's Champion without me. And then, of course, out comes fucking Charlotte Flair. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Basically just inserting herself into another triple threat match that she has no right being in. Obviously, once again, just getting handed everything because she's Ric Flair's daughter. You're a fuckwit. She's an absolute fuckwit. She looks like a dirty, disgusting mole. Seriously, I fucking wouldn't go anywhere near that. She's absolutely feral. And people thinking that she's better than Ric Flair. Get the fuck out of here. She's nowhere near as good as Ric Flair. Ric Flair's a 10 out of 10. Charlotte's like a minus 10. Maybe even lower than that. But because she's Ric Flair's daughter, gets handed everything. Of course. Fucking ripping off everyone as well. Can't come up with her own shit. She's an absolute knob. Actually, mole. I like mole. She's a fucking mole. Oh no, that Elias R-Truth thing happened on SmackDown. There you go. So don't need to get into that again. I don't know why I thought that was on Raw. They're all so bad now. They all just fucking jumble up. Aleister Black, doing what he does best, sitting in a dark room, having a cry. Honestly, why? Why the demotion? Why the demotion? Alexa Bliss defeated Carmella and Ric Flair's daughter to become the number one contender. Fuck yeah. Alexa Bliss and Bayley at Stomping Grounds, I'm pretty sure, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Not many people are happy about this because Alexa Bliss is a Raw superstar. Well, fucking get over it. They should give Alexa Bliss both titles. She's that good. Lars Sullivan finally said something, and the word freak got mentioned, and he was having a breakdown or something like that. So he's been hearing it his whole life. Andrade and Apollo Crews were supposed to have a match, and it lasted about 10 seconds because Finn Balor decided to charge the ring and have a scrap with Andrade. And then, for the first time ever, Goldberg was on SmackDown, replying to whatever Undertaker said on Raw. It was pretty bad. It's very bad. And then the lights went out and Taker was in the ring and Goldberg's just standing there laughing like, you can't scare me, I'm a 55-year-old man. Well, walking cradle versus the drip. So yeah, that was SmackDown. Once again, just fucking riveting stuff. It's been a good week in wrestling, I'm not going to lie. NXT wasn't much better. Because what they do here is the pre-show for Takeover is their weekly episode. So, you know, don't worry about celebrating the matches or new champions or people who won their matches or whatever. Nah, save that for next week. So they basically just go back and forth, you know, match in the ring and then talk about Takeover and then match in the ring and video package, match in the ring, and all that sort of crap. It was only really good for what they announced for next week, which is Kushida and Drew Gulak in a submission match, and Orny Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Undisputed Era of Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. That was really the only good thing from what was it, NXT. That was about it. So let's go to Impact. Hopefully Impact was better, and I'm sad to say, not really. RVD, Tommy Dreamer, and Sabu, the ECW originals, teaming up once again. Another promotion. Defeated Moose and the North. Sabu just needs to give it up, really. Tommy Dreamer just needs to stick to throwing trash cans at people and all that. RVD still got a butt. So yeah, maybe they should just leave RVD on his own. But what are you going to do? Wasn't a hardcore match, but it turned into a hardcore match. So, chairs and tables. At one point, the referee was helping Sabu set up a table in the ring, instead of doing his job, saying, no, get that out of here. But whatever. It wasn't too bad. It was alright a match. It sort of just went from there. Brian Cage update. Still injured. Hasn't been seen anywhere near a ring since Rebellion. It's kind of like when Lesnar was champion. Just no champion on TV. But he says he will be at Slammiversary and will defend his title against Michael Elgin there. So that's about a month away, Slammiversary. Tessa Blanchard destroyed Glenn Gilberti in an intergender match. Basically just embarrassed him, really. Glenn Gilberti's really just doing his bit to piss off the knockouts and lose to him, or whatever. The Rascals and LAX, going at it again. The tag team titles will be on the line next week. The Rascals were, they're on the 420. Bit of bringing in a bit of smoke to LAX, and then took all their Patron or tequila or something like that. Eddie Edwards and Killer Cross in a street fight. This was actually a good match. Unfortunately, had to get interrupted by Sandman, another ECW original coming back. Killer Cross absolutely just destroyed him. Destroyed Eddie Edwards. Until Sandman had to ruin it. Came in with a kendo stick and just single arm swinging it, and apparently that worked. And then gave Eddie Edwards the kendo stick as a replacement for, I think it was Kenny. His kendo stick that got mucked up. Rich Swann and Willie Mack had a match against Johnny Impact and Michael Elgin. Michael Elgin's walking around saying that, he puts people in the hospital now. Because it happened once by fluke to Brian Cage and then to Pentagon. Sort of a way to get Pentagon off Impact, I guess. Rich Swann and Willie Mack won that after some accidental contact of Impact crashing into Elgin, and then Elgin just had a sook and walked away. So Rich Swann hit the 450 splash on Johnny Impact, and basically Impact was easy pickings there. So that's wrestling this week. TV, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Impact, like I said, nothing too exciting. Especially to build up Super Showdown. All they really did was just get people past their best, cutting promos on each other. And Triple H and Orton was good like 15 years ago. Goldberg Undertaker would have been good 20 years ago, but now, fuck, what is the point? Seriously, that's what I think anyway. All right, now I'll talk about Takeover. Talk about Takeover first before I get into some other things. This was actually, I dare say, the official response to AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view, because clearly Raw and SmackDown weren't. If anything, they were just worse. All they did was tease Lesnar cashing in, which never happened. So, yeah. The first match, bit of a shock for me. I thought the tag team would have gone on first. Matt Riddle defeated Roderick Strong. It was a bit of a good back and forth match. Riddle ended up winning with some gay move I've never seen before. It's like a tombstone into a Styles Clash without all the flip flops or whatever. Actually, and he did kick off the flip flops, of course. Roderick Strong was destroying his back as always because he's the messiah of the backbreaker, but couldn't get the job done against Matt Riddle. The next match was the four-way ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits won that, and they did defeat Orny Lorcan and Danny Burch, Undisputed Era, and the Forgotten Sons. Undisputed Era started off hot. Kyle O'Reilly got the absolute shit beat out of him constantly with ladders. I think at one point, what's his name, Morrow Ranello, whatever his name is, screamed out, "Oh my God, they killed Kyle." Sort of a South Park reference there. It's actually they killed Kenny, but Ranello's an idiot. I still like him, but Montez Ford from the Street Profits is an absolute freak. Just the hops, as they say. He's got hops. He's got springs in his shoes or his legs. Maybe his legs are made of springs, so he can do some fantastic things there. The ring was cleared at one point, and Kyle O'Reilly was going to climb up, and then Jackson Riker was at the top of the entranceway, which I think I said previewing this, being a no disqualification, I'd like to see Riker get involved, which he did. And he came in and absolutely just cleaned house, just wiped everyone out. But unfortunately for him, his Forgotten Sons brethrens were still outside and couldn't do anything. And then it turned into a 6-on-1 assault on Riker, the Profits, Era, and Lorcan and Birch, just grabbing a ladder and just constantly just dropping it on him. Didn't work. Throw him out of the ring, still gets up. So they keep sort of trying to take him out. The Suns then finally, when they came back in, were cleaning house and so close to getting the belt, and then Montez Ford just springboards off it looks like he dropped out of the sky. He just springboarded off the ropes straight onto the ladder, knocked off, I think it was Wesley Blake, knocked him off and got the belts. So yeah, Street Profits are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. The fucking thing that they hang it from is so gay. Just go back to the little fucking hook, whatever, and you just put the two belts on there. None of this. Just take looks like a coat hanger. You got belts hanging off coat hangers. That's what it looks like. Anyway, the Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze followed that in a tough spot because that ladder match was fantastic. Velveteen Dream retained his North American Championship. That belt's not going anywhere. He's holding that for all eternity. Velveteen Dream got a selfie of Breeze, or with Breeze, while Breeze was laid out on the table with the belt, and then Breeze snuck away and super kicked him. This was a really good match. Breeze hit the Unprettier, I'm pretty sure, and then Dream just rolled out of the ring, and so Breeze tried to get him back in and couldn't. Then he went in to break the count so it wasn't a double count out or whatever, and Dream got the belt, and many people say Dream tried to hit Breeze with the belt. That didn't happen. He just quite easily just handed it to Breeze just so he could hold it once, because that'll be the closest he ever gets to it. Then Breeze gave it to the referee, walked into a Dream Valley driver and the purple rain elbow drop. 1, 2, 3, Velveteen Dream, still NXT North American Champion, and the greatest North American Champion of all time. And will be like that for the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 years, however long NXT is around. Because no one's better than that man. Okay? Now, yeah, I can hear now as you're listening to this a few people having a cry saying, nope, not true. Get over yourself. Alright? Just get over yourself. And then afterwards, bit of respect. Dream gave Breeze his phone back. They had a selfie. It's very good stuff there. Next match, Shayna Baszler defeated Io Shirai by submission. Didn't watch this match. Had no interest in it. I was too busy watching Orange Cassidy take on Gentleman Jervis on YouTube. So, yeah, I was too busy watching that. Much more entertaining, I dare say. Shirai apparently beat her up after the match with a kendo stick and lost her shit, and then said she wasn't done with her. She needs to fuck off. Just, yeah, fuck off. The main event. Adam Cole, baby, defeated Johnny Gargano to become the new NXT champion. You know, this should have been the end result at Takeover New York. But, you know, you got to just give it to Gargano because he was probably supposed to win it anyway. Of Ciampa, who, I reckon still another year for him. Neck injury. You don't want to take that lightly. This was a great match. This was, yeah. I don't even know how I'd rank these matches. But yeah, it had everything. They super kicked each other at the same time, like 2 or 3 times. I was just waiting for Adam Cole to hit the Panama Sunrise. I love that move. What a move that is, and yeah, just everything back and forth. Anyone could have won it, and of course Adam Cole won it. So they are now 2 apiece. If you include the 2 out of 3 falls match, which Gargano won 2-1. Now Cole's got this one, so it's 2 apiece. So you got to think Takeover Toronto, Cole versus Gargano Part 3, and it can't be a normal match. I'd like to see a ladder match between these two. I don't think a steel cage will do them justice. They don't do Hell in a Cell in NXT. Maybe the perfect time to introduce Hell in a Cell to NXT. Maybe an Iron Man match. Haven't seen a 1 hour Iron Man match, because I think these two could definitely do that. I mean, this match went for over half an hour for 1 fall. So, yeah, maybe, yeah, I'd like to see an Iron Man match between these two at Takeover Toronto. So that's my prediction there. Yeah, that's my prediction. So I'll write that down and remember, and hopefully when come August, when Takeover Toronto is happening, they announce the match. Hopefully they say ladder match or Iron Man. But I'd rather see an Iron Man match. So that was Takeover. Like I said, official response to Double or Nothing. I put Double or Nothing ahead of this. Only just. It'd be close. It'd be like a 9.7 to a 9.6, I guess. That's how close I'll put it. Matches on Takeover. I've got to put the ladder match first. And then Dream Breeze and Cole Gargano, I've got them tied. And then Riddle, Strong down there. And then underneath that, Baszler and Shirai, because I didn't watch that. So, yeah. That was Takeover. Now, during the week, I believe it was yesterday, Mr. Jon Moxley made his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut at the Best of Super Juniors. He had a match for Juice Robinson's IWGP United States Championship. That's what they call it over there. It was I guess you would say it was the co-main event, double main event, however you want to look at it. Few tag matches here, which I didn't really Didn't really bother watching them. There was a 10-man tag that had Zack Sabre Jr. in it, which I just had no interest in because I absolutely hate that fuckwit. Marty Scurll and Brody King had a match against Kushishka Okada and Rocky Romero. I'm pretty sure Okada and Romero won that. And then afterwards, he's sort of just waiting. He was asking everyone, where's Jericho? Just to sort of hype up their match this coming weekend at Dominion. If I remember, I'll also talk about that. And then, it went out, and then on the screen there was Jericho basically cutting a promo, hyping the match as Rainmaker versus Painmaker. So I can't wait for that match also. Jay White defeated Tanahashi. Jay White, leader of Bullet Club, and in my opinion is the best heel in wrestling today. He can just do one thing and everybody fucking hates his guts. Not me, but Switchblade. Like a bit of Switchblade. And I'm glad that he beat Tanahashi because I'm still bitter over Wrestle Kingdom 13. Because Tanahashi basically comes out wearing his entrance gear. He's basically wearing a bra. It looks like he's wearing a bra. And he beat Kenny Omega, which he shouldn't have, but he did. So Tanahashi deserved that loss. And Jay White will now just move up closer and closer towards another run at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Jon Moxley defeated Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States Championship. Juice Robinson actually cut off all his dreads. He was known for all his long dreads, and he cut them off for this match. It's not like he's going to put them back on for his next match, because they're gone. Moxley, like I said, won this. This was just a physical. This was a fight. This wasn't a wrestling match. This was a fight. Such a good match. Physical, bit violent, weapons involved. The tables in Japan just don't budge at all. Juice Robinson jumped off the top of a tier or something, did a flip onto Moxley and the young boys, as they call them. Basically just missed all of them. Moxley was barely able to catch him. And the table, Moxley went to suplex him through it. He laid him on the table first and went to elbow drop a chair on top of him, and it just didn't break. Then the table sort of collapsed, so Moxley just had the shits and gave him a suplex straight through the table. And then another table got set up on the guardrail. Moxley was sort of leaning on it, and Juice Robinson just ran across and went to do a flip onto him and just completely overjumped him. Bounced off the table. These things are thick. They are ridiculous. And then Robinson just got up and said, "I'm breaking this motherfucking table," and powerbombed him through it. But in the end, Death Rider Jon Moxley picked up the win with I think it's the Death Rider DDT. So sort of like his Dirty Deeds, but sort of picks him up and then plants him. And yeah, first match in New Japan. IWGP United States Champion. The only man as well to hold the WWE United States Championship and the IWGP United States Championship. So I also posted something about this on the Circles and Blunt Pencils podcast Instagram page. And I just wrote, "Oh yeah, how good," which it was. And new, yep, I'll just carry on. Blah, blah, blah. I wrote, "What a fight," cliffhanger stuff, which it was. And then here, this is basically what the point I wanted to get at was, much like Cody and Dustin, it just goes to show what a wrestler or performer, whatever, can do, can accomplish, can achieve without the shackles of WWE. Because it's true. Not micromanaged. Freedom. That's all it is. Freedom. The freedom to do it. And it was a fucking great match. But this match It's fucking 5-star. It's got to be 5-star. The finals of the Best of Super Juniors 26. Will Ospreay defeated Shingo Takagi. Takagi has never lost. I think it was like 96, 97 and 0 since starting in New Japan, like less than a year ago. And fucking Will Ospreay is an absolute freak. I've said he's the Ricochet on steroids. He's about a foot taller, I think, than Ricochet, and I'm probably cop some hate for this, but I think he is better than Ricochet. Performing wise, don't get me wrong, I like Ricochet, but Will Ospreay is just, he's on another level. At one stage, he hit a 630 shooting star press. So, shooting star press is when you jump forward but do a backflip. Basically, like, I think, what's that, 360, I guess? Will Ospreay did that and then another half rotation. Never seen that before. And Takagi just hit him with everything. And Ospreay as well, hit him with everything. This match went for about 30 odd minutes, but absolutely worth it. It just, it was basically just back and forth from the get-go. This match will get another mention, sooner as well on this podcast. But yeah, it was just a great match. It's definitely up there, you'd think, with match of the year already. Just in general, in wrestling in general, for this year. So Will Ospreay picked up the win. So he's a 2-time Best of Super Juniors tournament winner. And I think he's only the second foreigner, so non-Japanese wrestler, to win the Best of Super Juniors more than once. And the first being Prince Devitt, who is in fact Finn Balor. So that was the Best of Super Juniors 26 on a Wednesday as well. It's really crazy there. Also, speaking of New Japan, Dominion is on this Sunday. So I'll just get the matches up here. The full card got announced today, which is good. John Moxley will be there against Shota Umino, I think. Title not on the line. Moxley will win that. There's no way you just bring him in and then he's going to lose second time, especially after becoming a champion there. What else have we got here? It's a tag team match. Jushin Thunder Liger and Yoshihashi will take on Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. Oh, good, he's not in a singles match. Sweet. I have to see half of him. A few other matches here. Taguchi Japan, which is Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, and Taguchi, will take on Bullet Club of Jay White, Chase Owens, and Ishimori in a 6-man tag team match. So a bit disappointed Jay White's in a 6-man match, not a singles match. Tachi will be defending his Never Openweight Championship against Tomohiro Ishii. I hope I'm getting all these names right as well. I could, maybe not. In the 6-man, I'll go Bullet Club, of course, and then I'll go Ishii. I'll go Ishii to become the new Never Openweight Champion. Yes, very happy about this as well. My boys, the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga and Tongaloa, defending their IWGP Tag Team Championships against Evil and Sonata. They've got a group name. I cannot pronounce it for the life of me, so I'll just refer to them as Evil and Sonata. GOD's winning that all the way. Yeah. GOD shirt on the way as well. Dragon Lee will be defending his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the Best of Super Juniors, Will Ospreay. That Will Ospreay. Fuck me dead. Can't wait for that match. Will Ospreay and that for me. Yep. Will Ospreay. Kota Ibushi will be defending his IWGP Intercontinental Championship against Naito. I think Ibushi. I'm going Ibushi to retain there. I think they had a match at the G1 in Madison Square Garden, and Ibushi defeated Naito for it. So I think Ibushi will retain there. And then the main event, Okada defending the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Chris Jericho. Rainmaker versus Painmaker. Going Chris Jericho all the way in this. Chris Jericho all the way. So he will become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And then August 31st at All Out, he will defeat Hangman Page to become the AEW World Champion. And then he'll be an undisputed champion once again. Why? Because he can. Plain and simple. But that's not the only thing that's on this weekend. But it is the event I'm looking forward to most, because I am not looking forward to Super Showdown. I'll just go through the matches that are announced. There is 10 of them. The Usos against the Revival has just been announced on the fucking pre-show, of course. Usos in that. 3-on-1 handicap match here. Lars Sullivan finally stepping in the ring against Lucha House Party. Boring Lars Sullivan. And that'll be, I'm going to go 1 minute and 16 seconds. That's my outlandish prediction there. Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship against Baron Corbin. This just doesn't do Corbin any justice. Getting a title match in Saudi Arabia where they don't really care about the wrestling. There's probably like 5% of the crowd that will really get into it, and the rest of them just won't care. Go back and watch Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm pretty sure the crowd was asleep until a couple of the princes in the front row decided to start a fight with each other. So that's hopefully Corbin gets another match with Rollins in the States, because then the true heel will come out, especially from the crowd. But I'm going Baron Corbin in this all the way. Seth Rollins can go fuck himself. Kofi Kingston defending the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler. I'm going Ziggler all the way in this. But I want Ziggler to win, but I don't, because I've got a very strong feeling that Lesnar's cashing in on the WWE Champion. So if Ziggler wins, hopefully Lesnar just doesn't do anything and then goes for the Universal, or actually there's no women's in this, so maybe he can cash it in on something else. Actually, I got a good prediction on what he can cash in on. I'll get to that. But yeah, if Kingston wins, then yes, please Lesnar, come out, put me out of my misery. Because hashtag Kofi's run is done. And I'd just love to see Baron Corbin become Universal Champion. I've seen some stupid marks out there, just out in the social media verse, whatever. They're threatening to cancel their subscriptions for the network and vow to never watch WWE again if Baron Corbin becomes champion. Just fucking talk about having a fucking sook. Did I have a cry? I mean, I had a little bit of a cry, but I didn't, cancel my network subscription and, vow to never watch WWE ever again when Johnny Gargano won the NXT Championship and when Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship. So, that's just me. Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon. Roman all the way in this. But I somehow feel Shane McMahon's corporation will get involved now that he's recruited the Revival in that team. I think this may be another quick match as well. Shane McMahon's going through the announce table, that's for sure, or something. Something's happening here. Maybe because it's outdoor and they have those massive pillars, he might climb up right on top of the screen and then like drop an elbow like through the ring or something, and then Reigns will just roll over and pin him. Something like that. Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Yawn. Yeah, what a way to hype up that match. Put them in an arm wrestling. I reckon the arm wrestling match will be more entertaining than this crap. Finally, a good match. Finn Balor defending his Intercontinental Championship against Andrade. Come on. You listen to this week in, week out, you know who I'm going. Andrade all the way. Give the man a title run. And if not, promote him to NXT, please. Yes, Goldberg versus Undertaker. I've seen fucking rumours and shit, which, as you know, I don't dive into. But they're actually talking about this being the main event. Whether that's true or not is ridiculous. You're going to put Goldberg and Undertaker on last. The show, I dare say, will run for 5 hours. So the crowd and people watching at home are already going to want to go to sleep. And then you put these two old farts on. Of course they're going to go to sleep. And your main event is usually, a decent 20, 25 plus minute match. Both these dudes are about 150. One will be coming out on a walking cradle. The other one will have a drip in his arm. This match, dead set. For the safety of both men and the fact that no one dies in the ring, this should go for 5 minutes, if that. Or actually, just don't have it at all. Fuck. The 50-man Battle Royal. No one has been announced for that. I dare say it'll just be fucking whoever. Take a handful from NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live, Raw, SmackDown, and anywhere else. I don't know. So I can't give a prediction on that. So because I don't even know who's in it. So I'm just going to go Hogan. Hulk Hogan's going to come back and win it. And it's a Battle Royal, so it's not a Royal Rumble. So there's going to be 50 men in the ring at once. I'm thinking maybe they're going to do like the WCW World War III and have 3 rings as opposed to 1. But I don't know. Who knows? And then also Triple H and Randy Orton. Queen of Queens wanted me to let everyone know he's going Triple H in this. Wouldn't surprise me. Triple H is pretty good at burying people, so he might just try to bury Randy Orton as well. Even though Randy Orton should win because he's still wrestling more consistently, probably 2 times more than Triple H is these days. But yeah, but I'm going Orton in that. He's gonna, as Edge once said, he's gonna beat the snot out of Triple H's ever-ending nose. Good man, Edge. And then this brings me to my Brock Lesnar cash-in prediction. Orton will beat Triple H. Triple H will be down, out, beaten up, dead, whatever. Lesnar's going to cash in on Triple H for COO of WWE or whatever the fuck Triple H does behind the scenes. That's what Lesnar's going to cash in on. That's my outlandish prediction. So yeah, that's Super Showdown. That's on Friday night, I think, over here, or early Saturday morning. So I'll be watching it Saturday night. I would like the ability to fast forward through a lot of things there. What's missing there? Tag team. Raw and SmackDown. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are apparently still the Raw tag team champions, if I'm not mistaken. And Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan are the SmackDown tag team champions. Why aren't they on here? Why aren't they defending their tag team championships? I can understand Samoa Joe not having a United States Championship matchup just yet, given that Mysterio has relinquished it. Maybe there were plans, maybe they weren't. Maybe they're just part of the Battle Royal. And another thing is apparently Natalya and Alexa Bliss will be over there. So are they going to have women wrestle in a country that basically hates women? Or not hates women, but says women have no rights. So that'll be interesting. maybe Natalia and Bliss will have to wrestle in burgers or something, which will be a real shame because Alexa Bliss is... So that's upcoming. And obviously there's a few AEW shows coming up. There's one coming up this month, a couple of weeks. I think it's the end of June. Fighter Fest. We'll just talk about a couple of matches here. Probably done that already, but I'm going to talk about it again. Yep, still the same, really. Some dude and Michael Nakazawa. I think it's G. Bailey in a hardcore match. Apparently he's the... something to do with CEO. Community Effort Orlando fighting game event. He's the founder or something like that. So he's fighting Nakazawa. Cody will be wrestling Darby Allin, which was actually... this is actually Darby Allin's first... this will be his first match in AEW. I just saw somewhere that he chose not to do Double or Nothing, so his first impression would be against Cody. The Elite, Omega, and the Young Bucks are taking on the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, and TBA in a six-man tag. I'm saying Jericho. That's my prediction there. But then again, maybe they sign something. Maybe Luchasaurus. I think he's a Mexican wrestler. Maybe Luchasaurus. Maybe someone else. Who knows? And John Moxley will be taking on Joey Janela. And they sort of did a little fun thing there on Being the Elite, where Moxley just took Janela's cigarette off him and had a drag, and that was it. So that's how they sort of promote their matches on Being the Elite. And full disclosure, or whatever, however the fuck you say it, the John Moxley shirt is also on the way with my GOD Gorillas of Destiny shirt. So just thought I'd let everyone know. Just, you know, that's some more gear that I'm getting. Alrighty. There's no salt on these nuts. Oh, fuck, this thing's back on. Sorry about that. Just indulging in some peanuts that are supposed to be salted, but they're not, which is a damn shame. Anyway, back. Had to do a second recording because I've been rambling on for so long. This thing only lets me record for an hour at a time. So, doing 2 parts today. Fuck it, why not? So, piece of cake is usually what I'd be doing next. But instead of doing what I liked and didn't like for this week in wrestling, I thought I might do a top 10 of things that I've liked and disliked this year so far in wrestling. Almost halfway through the year, and I thought I'll just do it now. Why not? And then maybe a few months down the track or whatever, maybe end of the year, do another one. So yeah, I'll start off with top 10 things that I didn't like this year. Mix it up, get all the negative shit out of the way. Let's see, how many things do I have here? I've got 11 things here. I did say top 10, so one's got to go, but fuck, one got to go. I'm just going to do 11. I'll start off with Nia Jax being in the Royal Rumble, especially coming in at number 30. What was the fucking point of that? Seriously, that was absolutely ridiculous. But she received an RKO for it, so that was good. Wrestle Kingdom 13. I sort of alluded to that before when Tanahashi beat Omega. But just in general, 8 of the 9 matches were title matches, and every single title changed hands. And just all in all for me, I was really looking forward to it, and just disappointing, really, for me. Especially when you see all your when you see all your favourites go down and you can't pick a match to save your life. I'm usually used to that, but just in awe. It was really disappointing on that, and trying to watch it as well was a bit of a fuck up, especially when I got to the main event, watching Omega and Tanahashi, and then it just cut out. So I was trying to find it, eventually found it, and when I started watching it again, I'd missed the last 15 minutes of the match, and Tanahashi was there celebrating as the new champion, so that pissed me off, and I can't even remember if I watched the rest of the match. Goldberg coming out of retirement once again. Honestly, just could not give a single fuck about that, and yet they're making a big thing out of it. Yeah, just bringing someone that's retired and 30 years past the use-by date, 15, 20 years past the use-by date, taking away the spotlight and potentially the main event from a superstar that actually deserves it. The ending of Takeover New York, very vocal about that. Hashtag fuck Johnny Gargano. Hashtag fuck Johnny Gay Garno. Johnny Fuckwit. Johnny Toolbag. Johnny Dickhead. Yes, I did cry that day and had a sook. But I didn't cancel my network subscription. It's another mark. I have a 24/7 championship. I think it's 2-3 weeks in, and it's just already ridiculous. It's just pointless. It's never defended. All it is just R-Truth running away from everyone. The only thing good about it is Drake Maverick. Just constantly chasing R-Truth and jumping for him and completely missing and face planting on the ground. That's the only good thing about it. The usage of Elias, two-time 24/7 champion, deserves so much better. He's already the greatest 24/7 champion of all time, but he deserves so much better. People say he's not good and not a heel and not a good heel or not a good wrestler, this and that. Come on, seriously, you must be blind. The way he's getting used is absolutely ridiculous. He should be a champion of some sort. Should have been Intercontinental champion. Should be a world champion now. But no. One of these days I'm going to absolutely snap with Elias there. Another thing I didn't like, one of the big things really, was the Bar breaking up. Very, very sad day for me. Big fan of the Bar. Greatest tag team champions going around in WWE these days, and just split them up. I guess the sort of good thing about that is the hashtag push Cesaro that I still claim that I brought back, and I'll continue to say that. But yeah, those two as a tag team was just absolutely great, and very upsetting that they broke up. Charlotte being handed the main event of WrestleMania. Of course, I've already gone into that. She's a fuckwit, she's a mole, gets handed everything, including the main event of WrestleMania, which she didn't earn. Gets, what does she get? She gets handed the SmackDown title and then loses it. That's right. She gets handed the title, the SmackDown title, like a week and a bit before Mania, only to lose it, and then gets handed the title again at Money in the Bank, only to lose it. You're a fucking shit champion. You can't even hold on to a belt. Anyway, what else didn't I like this year so far? Oh, those two fucking rejects, quote unquote, doing the quotation things, invading the G1. Yeah, I'm talking about fucking Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Yeah, because they invaded. Nah. You were invited in without anyone knowing, and then what happened? Get into a fight, because he's so cool, and where are you now? Still nowhere, because you're fucking rejects. You don't belong in the business. Tama Tonga said it best to Enzo, he's a cancer, because that's what he is. That's what he is. So just go back to doing whatever you want. He loves being hated as well. I've seen interviews with him saying that. So I'm glad I'm making you happy. You're a fucking knob. The shake-up this year, it's just, I don't think anyone has actually benefited from it. Probably stumbling on that word, but yeah, I don't think anyone's gained from it. I mean, just look at Alistair Black, done nothing. Buddy Murphy hasn't been used. Cedric Alexander, same thing. Who else? Liv Morgan as well. They're just a couple that I can think of. And I'm pretty sure there is plenty more there. And the last thing of my top 10, the 11th thing of my top 10 things that I hated or disliked this year. And this will just constantly be going around. The fact that CM Punk is still relevant and people seem to give a shit about him and are constantly obsessed with him. I don't get it. It's 5 years later. He walked out on everyone because he had a fucking sook. Get over it. I don't see the deal. He's nothing now. On this, I actually put it out to a couple of the wrestling fans in the universe, if you will. Just simply saying, why is everyone still obsessed with CM Punk? As I've always said, don't get me wrong, I still like him, but after 5 years, surely enough is enough. I posted this probably maybe half an hour before I got on here to record this podcast. So got some feedback. A lot of people liking it, loving it. One person commented saying Punk is gone, he ain't coming back, not to WWE anyway, so let's let Phil enjoy his retirement and accept this fact. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Another person wrote his stock is down, which is true. I don't even know if he would be a big deal for AEW at this point. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, someone else, I agree, it gets old. But he's one of the greatest mic workers of all time. I don't disagree there. And everyone's now blowing up, creating a buzz, which is really what triggered me about this, of the all-out poster. And everyone's going, oh, Punk will be there. Punk will be there. You know, they've got his stars. His stars are in the logo. Okay, first of all, they're not his stars. They are the stars of Chicago. If they were his stars, why didn't he play for the Chicago Bulls? I mean, they had those 4 stars on his jerseys. I mean, were they the CM Punk Bulls? No, they were the Chicago Bulls because it's the fucking stars of Chicago. Get over it. Just fucking get over him. He's a hack. He's a has-been. He couldn't hack it then. He won't be able to hack it now. And he did really well in MMA as well, didn't he? In UFC. That's why he fucking commentates at some mixed martial arts company that no one's ever heard of. So yeah, that's what I haven't liked this year. Now, positive. What I have liked this year. AEW, the emergence of AEW. And just everyone jumping on the bandwagon as well. I find it hilarious. I get a good kick out of it as well. You know, people saying it's just a t-shirt company and blah, 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 until they finally put on a show. And now everyone, not everyone, but like majority of wrestling fans are just like, fuck WWE can get fucked. I'm an AEW fan now. So relax, chill. They've only put on one show. Yes, it was a great show. Definitely the best pay-per-view of this year so far. But, you know, just wait till they get weekly TV. That's when the true telling story of AEW will come into effect, when they can actually do good storylines across every single week on television. Still very excited for that. But yeah, just everyone being a mark and, you know, all of a sudden just jumping on the bandwagon. But, you know, whatever. The other thing, WrestleMania not being shit. I actually thought it was a good WrestleMania this year. I was very surprised. I did go into it thinking, oh, this is going to be fucking terrible. I was wrong. And I was glad I was wrong. Sasha Banks having a cry. Can never go wrong with that. Because they had to lose the women's tag team championships, which they shouldn't have won in the first place, let's be honest. John Moxley's arrival at AEW. Definitely love that. I remember just watching it live, and I just wish I could have seen my face. Like, I just wish someone had taken a photo of me or filmed me when that was happening, because I was just in absolute shock, because everything to do with AEW, I just stayed away. I mean, I try to stay away from rumors and all this internet bullshit anyway, because that's what I think of it, complete bullshit. But yeah, when he came out, it was just absolutely fantastic. And there's a video as well of people in the crowd filming it, and there's one of someone that's close to ringside filming, and you can actually see Moxley coming down the stairs, and that was just, I mean, you know, still like bumpy gooses watching that. Impact this year, I've been really surprised how good Impact is, and how much I'm enjoying it. I do enjoy watching it. I actually watched the entire show. I don't fast forward through it like I do with Raw and SmackDown, so that's obviously something telling there of what I think of Impact. And I think it's only going to get better, especially with Don Callis and Scott Amore running proceedings there. Ring of Honor and New Japan selling out Madison Square Garden for the G1. Very happy about that. Big fan of Ring of Honor and New Japan, and the fact that they could go to basically the greatest wrestling arena there ever is, apart from MCG, where WWE should be going this October. But yeah, the fact that they could sell out Madison Square Garden is just fucking tops. And it was a great show as well. It didn't let down. Now I just can't wait for the day that AEW decides to go to Madison Square Garden, because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. What else did I like? Kofi Mania ruining the man. Yes, I spoke about this after WrestleMania, where no one actually gave a fuck about Becky Lynch and her whole "I'm the man," because everyone was excited about Kofi Kingston and the fact that he was going to WrestleMania. So, I mean, I don't agree, and I don't like the fact that Kofi's WWE champion, but I like the fact that it just completely brushed Becky Lynch to the side. Fuck off. Go complain on Twitter, you keyboard warrior. Halftime heat being more entertaining than the Super Bowl. And I would know, because I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I believe I was watching the Spanish news at the time until halftime heat came on. Dean Ambrose eliminating Johnny Gargano from the Royal Rumble. And I believe in a group chat I said to the boys, Dean Ambrose is now my favourite wrestler of all time for doing that. And I said whoever eliminates Johnny Gargano will forever be my favourite wrestler. And I guess it was just meant to be, because yes, I'm John Moxley fan, however you want to look at it. I was saying this the other day, there's a reason why I didn't like Dean Ambrose in WWE. And it's just obvious now, because of the way he was managed in there. The way he was used. Look at him now. Look what you can do when you're not shackled by WWE and you can just be your own character that you want to be. There you go. So I guess, you know, I guess I predicted this 6 months ago. And the last thing I liked in wrestling this year is Don Callis' commentary on Impact. He's always been a great commentator. Last couple of years, you know, watching New Japan, also when he was at All In, just fantastic stuff, and just constantly getting better. I've said it time and time again, he's the best commentator in the business today. And I stand by that, just by week in and week out listening to him call matches and tell stories or whatever on Impact. So yeah, that was actually 10 things for my top 10 things that I did like this year. So one didn't technically have to go there. So now, also, sort of being close to the halfway mark, I also decided to do top 10 matches for myself for the year. And once again, I have gone 11. And like I said before, one ain't going. There's no one got to go here. there's a top 10 and I got 20. 20's coming out. So I've got 11 here. In no particular order, I have got Flip Gordon versus Bandito at Ring of Honor War of the Worlds Night 1. In some ways, this is a dream match early on, especially if they hadn't wrestled for 10 years down the track, this would be a dream match. They're both just absolutely athletic as fuck. The Usos versus The Bar versus Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Nakamura and Rusev at WrestleMania 35. I really, really enjoyed that match. Tessa Blanchard against Gail Kim at Rebellion, at Impact Rebellion. Tessa Blanchard, I've said before, it's true. She's the best female wrestler on the planet today. You don't need to go to WWE to be the best wrestler in the world. Tessa Blanchard's proven that as female. Kenny Omega has proved that as a male. And there's plenty more out there as well. Stars that aren't in WWE that are better than wrestlers in WWE. But if went to WWE, you wouldn't even know it. Just look at Jon Moxley. Duh. Just yesterday, I could watch this match over and over again, and I think I will. Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi, New Japan, best of the Super Juniors. If you haven't seen it, track it down, watch this match. It's fucking unbelievable. Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. I said it wasn't as good as their match at Wrestle Kingdom 12. I stand by that, but still, I love these two wrestlers. I can't wait for them to go a third time round. Actually, and I have a little prediction there for that. Where am I? LAX versus the Lucha Brothers at Impact Rebellion in the Full Metal Mayhem tag team match. That was a great match as well. GOD, Guerrillas of Destiny versus the Briscoes at Ring of Honor War of the Worlds. I don't think this match was televised. I think it was only exclusive for Honor Club. I managed to track that down as well. Go figure. There's no way I was missing this match. Andrade versus Rey Mysterio on SmackDown. I spoke about it before, comparing their matches to Cesaro and Ricochet. Nick Aldis versus Marty Scurll for the NWA Heavyweight Championship at NWA Crockett Cup. Nick Aldis is like 3 times the size of Marty Scurll, and still, I thought Marty was going to win. I knew he wasn't, but there's always that hope that he was going to win, and that's how you know you're watching a good match. Bit of a surprise here, Triple H versus Batista at WrestleMania 35. Considering I did nothing but talk shit about it for 4 weeks leading up to it, the fact that it surprised me and I thought it was good was enough to put it on my top 10, 11 list. And rounding out the list, no-brainer. I've already watched it, I think 6 or 7 times. I was only on a couple of weeks ago. Cody versus Dustin at Double or Nothing. And you know what? I think when I'm done here, I'm going to put it on again and watch it, because the cricket's actually boring me. So yeah, there's my 11 top 10 matches of the year so far. Now, I was saying before about Jericho and Omega going a 3rd time round, with Jericho soon to become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. They do in New Japan. I'm pretty sure it might be coming up. First they do the Best of Super Juniors, and they also do the G1. The G1 Climax, I'm pretty sure it's called. What that is, it's just a tournament. Goes on wins and losses. Obviously, I think it's 2 points for a win. I think there's 10 wrestlers, Block A and Block B, and then they go through the tournament, and then whoever wins, the top 2 will then battle it out. So the top 2 in Block A will wrestle. The winner of that will go to the finals, and then the same with Block B. And then those 2 mate to become the winner of the G1. And then when you win that, you get a IWGP Heavyweight Championship matchup at Wrestle Kingdom. I dare say Jericho is still allowed to wrestle at New Japan. I dare say Kenny Omega will be as well, allowed to. So Kenny Omega is going to win the G1. Jericho is going to be the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And they're going to meet at Wrestle Kingdom 14, third time round, for the big one. That's my prediction. Got a few good predictions here this week. I like it. So yeah, that's everything. As always, I've forgotten something. I can just feel it if I remember. I'll try to jot it down. And bring it up next week. Next week should be a good one as well. We'll be talking about Against My Will. Against My Will, Super Showdown. Actually, going there's Against My Will as well. But yeah, we'll be talking about Super Showdown. But also Dominion. Hopefully, I'm very excited for this. So hopefully it doesn't piss me off and then I just talk shit about it. Then again, you never know. Maybe I will. And then anything else really that I can think of. Might even try to watch something as well during the week. Just let everyone know what I do in my boring life. And yeah, maybe try to get the boys back on soon. Hopefully everything works out well, recording wise and stuff like that. And yeah, as always as well, Facebook, Circles and Blunt Pencils, Instagram, the big one really, Circles and Blunt Pencils podcast. There's a Twitter, at CNBP Pod, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know how to use the fucking thing. If you're listening to this, subscribe, please. Subscribe on YouTube and share it around. Tell your friends if you got any. I don't. All my friends are dead. So yeah. Cake Champion is also dead. I am Cake and Bake Thick Shake, bringing to you Circles and Blunt Pencils for another week. Mamma mia!